Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Big developments. The Russians claim they got under their control more than half of Donetsk and they're advancing. So that means the Ukrainians are retreating. So I just found this article here by an American news outlet coming from Reuters, and it is from December 12, 2022. Now, this is the title. Russian-backed official says half of Donetsk under Moscow control. Advance difficult. Difficult or not difficult, they're advancing. That's the main point. And I'm not surprised. Most news outlets that I'm looking and the articles I'm reading say the same thing, that the Russians are again in offensive advancing and Ukrainians moving back. But you know, as everybody over there lies, so you have to verify it. So advancing in some areas of the Donetsk region is difficult, the top Moscow installed official in the occupied parts of the territory in eastern Ukraine said on Tuesday, adding that more than half was under Russian control. Remember, this is a Reuters article, so the semantics and the terms they use are weasel-like because that's how they are. And the Russians are doing the same thing, so it's not that I'm criticizing only the Americans, all right? Or whatever, these weasels. But we know these guys are weasels, okay? That's why they say the so-called Donetsk People's Republic is one of the 4 regions in Ukraine which Moscow proclaimed as its own in September in an exercise Ukraine and its allies denounced as a sham, coercive referendum. Well, some other countries did not, like 3 or 4. Anyway, and I'm quoting, a little more than 50% of the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic has been liberated. And quote, Denis Pushilin, Russian installed administrator of the portion controlled by Moscow, told Russian state-owned news agency RIA. Reuters was unable to independently verify the report. I think even if they would have verified, they would not say yes, and we verified it's true. Fierce fighting in the region in recent weeks has left unclear which parts of Donetsk are under Russian and Ukrainian control. Russia has claimed to be gradually advancing its positions, with the defense ministry saying on Monday that its offensive had killed 30 Ukrainian military personnel the day before. 30. However, Pushilin said the situation was tough along the Liman line of contact in the region's north. Ukraine had liberated Liman hours after Putin proclaimed the annexation of Donetsk in September. And I'm quoting, the situation remains difficult. The enemy is trying to counterattack, but our units are now holding all positions. RIA cited Pushilin as saying, and I'm quoting again, it is not always possible to move forward. I bet. Russia's sustained shelling of the front line in Donetsk has completely destroyed the city of Bakhmut and heavily damaged the city of Avdiivka, which lies in the region's center, President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Friday. The Russians consistently conducted offensives in Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Liman, Novopavlivka, and now Zaporozhye. And this, they told about Donetsk, everything over there, right? Donetsk DPR, or whatever it is. Is it? Now, on Monday, the General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces said Russia kept concentrating its effort to advance and capture both cities. And they will, probably. And I'm quoting, near Bakhmut, the occupiers rained mortar and artillery fire on nearly 20 settlements, end quote. It said in a daily evening update. 9 settlements came under shelling near Avdiivka, the military said. Britain's defense minister said Russia was still likely to be planning deeper advances within Donetsk, but cast doubts on its ability to do so. Yeah, okay. You said many things and you were wrong. So, and I'm quoting again, it is highly unlikely that the Russian military is currently able to generate an effective striking force capable of retaking these areas, end quote, it said. And I'm quoting again, Russian ground forces are unlikely to make operationally significant advances within the next several months, end quote. Well, you know how it is. Some people say this, other people say that, and in the end, as Putin said, we will see. When he was asked about, hey, you see the Ukrainians are counterattacking, they have a counteroffensive, they're winning. And he said, well, it's not over yet, and we will see. The end is not here. It's not, we'll see in the end who's going to win. Oh, anyway, this is what these guys report. Obviously, it comes from the Russians report, and the Americans tell us through Reuters. Now, as I said before, I put this together with a consistent articles coming from the Ukrainian side and the Russian side, but mostly Ukrainian side. When I make my daily front updates, not all daily, but maybe every other day, informing from the general staff of Ukraine's army the situation on the front. And as I said, Bakhmut and Avdiivka were always, in the past month and a half, the Russians are trying to conduct offensive. They use tanks, they use this and that. The other ones were sometimes Liman showed up, and that appeared in about a week ago, Liman. And then about 3 weeks ago it was Novopavlivka. Novopavlivka disappeared in the past 3 days from the articles coming from Ukraine, but today, I think, and yesterday, Zaporozhye showed up. So, but as I said, Bakhmut and Avdiivka were always over there. I have no doubts that these guys are trying to advance and it's fierce fighting over there. The thing is, remember when they said last year that the Russians are waiting to start their offensive in the spring because of the bad weather, and the tanks will not advance in those kinds of terrain over there, the Ukrainian steppes or whatever they were calling them. It's going to be muddy and all that, and it will wait. Well, we're in December. What are you talking about? These guys are still forcing advances. I knew it was bullshit, and I tell you why. These weasels, they are still with their brains in 1940s. In the 1940s, the technology and capabilities of tanks and to maneuver and to advance was much different than is now. It's true, we're the same human beings with on two legs and so on. It's true about that, but it's different tactical warfare nowadays. It's true that they have the same terrain, but they have highways. They have, they can go over. It's not like, oh my God, it's always a swamp. And the fact that these guys are conducting offensive in the past, month and a half at least, and now in mid-December, they're still advancing, they're still fighting to advance, and they're successful in liberating, from the Russian perspective, Donetsk here. That tells me that it was bullshit then, and I still thought it was bullshit then. I'm not saying it's not making it harder, but not like impossible. Oh, they will not do it. Maybe moreover, maybe that's the more reason to attack now, because the enemy thinks that you're not gonna attack. But anyway, Napoleon came back because of the weather, and he came to Moscow and said, "What the fuck? Where is everybody? They burned their capital? Pfft, Jesus Christ, man! Well, let's go back." And they went back, and from this army that went over there and got to Moscow, got back this much. And then when he came back, he was, "Hey, what are you doing, Napoleon? How about you get the fuck out?" So yeah, but it's not going to be the case here. We'll see. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.